edition of the Dan O'Donnell Show. 2 straight hours of conservative thought, not just talk. It is a tour de force of truth with some fun sprinkled in as well. If you'd like to join us, the adventknows.com talk and text line is open, as it always is. 414-799-1130. You can reach me toll free, 1-800-838-9476. And the very first text I saw, 9:03 this morning. What was for supper? Are you coming home? Someone else can pick up H. A, I really hope H doesn't mean heroin, and B, I'm fairly certain that text was supposed to go to a spouse and not a radio station. You can also reach me via email, dod@iheartmedia.com, if you'd like to let me know what you're having for supper tonight, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, or if you prefer, if you're old school like me, Twitter. Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, at Dan O'Donnell Show on Twitter, X, by the way. You can watch the show streaming live on X, on Facebook, or on YouTube, youtube.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, watch the show streaming on the DanoCam. Coming up on today's show, the Green Bay superintendent finds himself in hot water for alleged comments made on a hot mic during a commercial break on a radio show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, everybody else has the same recurring nightmare. It's they're naked at work. They're running late for a test. They're back in school. They can't find their classroom. These are common recurring nightmares. Do you know what every radio guy has a recurring nightmare about? That they're caught on a hot mic saying something terrible. Well, Dr. Claude Tiller, Green Bay superintendent, and I say allegedly because the Green Bay school system is doing everything it can to keep the video of the hot mic comments in which he called a coworker a B, said 92% of teachers in his district can't do their job, and much more. We'll have that story coming up. It's Tuesday. It's Hard Truth Tuesday. We will, of course, as we do every day, name the unhinged liberal of the day. And we'll have a lot of fun. First, I've got to log into the computer. Jay Weber on WISN had to shut down and restart the computer. Would you believe it has taken now 15 minutes for me to... Oh, just hold on. No. No, management needs to know they don't get a radio show if I don't get a functioning computer. So we're all going to sit here. We're going to wait for the computer to load. Hold on. It's working. Okay, you heard that? You could hear the little doo-doot, doo-doot. Okay. All right, now let's go. Time for the inflation blues.
Hey, Mr. President, all you congressmen too. You got me frustrated, and I don't know what to do. I'm trying to make a living. I can't save a cent. It takes all of my money just to eat and pay my rent. I got the blues. Got those inflation blues. Yes, I have.
Consumer Price Index out today for the month of January shows an unexpected spike in the inflation rate year over year, 3.1%. It's a bigger jump than analysts expected. The monthly, month-over-month inflation rate also increases. Core CPI, which excludes energy and food costs, which are far more volatile, 3.9%. That's the same increase as December. On a monthly basis, CPI rose 0.3% after rising 0.2% month over month. Core CPI up 0.4%, up from the 0.3% gain the previous month. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because the Federal Reserve is trying to figure out when is going to be the best time to lower interest rates. The economy right now is not just dealing with inflation. It's not just dealing with prices, and prices are up at minimum. The number that we're seeing in the consumer price index and the producer price index, which measures the cost of what it takes to produce the goods and services that we buy, producer price index. Those are both up 17.4%. Anyone who's been in a grocery store knows that this is probably on the low end. But we're also fighting high interest rates because the only tool that the Federal Reserve really has to slow down inflation, it can't get prices down unless we have negative 17% inflation. I'm taking a wild guess that we're not going to see prices go back to where they were under President Trump anytime soon. But the only tool that the Federal Reserve has is to raise interest rates. When things start costing more because you're paying more for the money that you use to buy, say, a car, to buy a house, to buy whatever, businesses are more impacted than individuals because they're taking out loans all the time to expand businesses, to buy whatever it is they need to do business. So this is a big issue, and we're dealing with the two of them at the same time because core inflation keeps going up. The Federal Reserve is stuck because they raised interest rates to try to get down to a target rate of 2% inflation. 2% is considered normal. Interestingly enough, do you know the single highest monthly year-over-year CPI index reading? In any month of the Trump presidency, inflation topped out at 2.9%. 2.9. We have not been below 3% inflation since the first 3 months of Joe Biden's presidency. By May of 2021, Biden had been in office for about 4 months. Inflation spiked to a 30-year high. By July, it was at a 40-year high, and then, believe it or not, we got even higher. For the next 18 months, inflation was up 7% year over year, 8%. We even got as high as 9% before the Federal Reserve, which desperately didn't want to hike interest rates because low interest rates were keeping the housing market alive. They were putting back into some form of normalcy the automobile market. Remember, the price of new cars and used cars rose exponentially during Bidenflation. So we're trying to get interest rates down so that we're stimulating the economy. Federal Reserve kept hiking them. They had no choice. People, at some point, you hit a critical juncture where people just aren't going to buy things. Now, this sky-high inflation rate, far higher than what analysts had expected. And when you're talking about month-over-month inflation, yes, 0.4 versus 0.3 is high. This is not good because the Federal Reserve is right now trying to decide whether it's going to slash interest rates. And the thinking was always that at the March meeting, interest rates were going to come down. Obviously, this would be a great thing for anyone who's trying to buy or sell a house in the traditional spring season where a whole lot of homes go on the market. In most markets in the United States, Milwaukee and Madison included, we have seen 16-year lows in the availability of houses. We have seen housing activity, buying, selling, home starts, construction, that sort of thing, at lows because who wants to get out of their 3.5% mortgage to get in a new one? I think yesterday I saw interest rates were something like mortgage rates were 6.7%. That's down from about 7.7% just a couple of weeks ago, but it's still a significant chunk of change. So if you were thinking about moving, if you were thinking about upgrading your homestead, you're not as likely to do that because you're going to waste so much money just paying interest. You want to pay as much principal as possible. You're able to do that with a 3.5% mortgage, 6.5%. It's almost like you're throwing money away. So why would you do that? And so many people have drawn that conclusion. This is also why, if you thought it was a little weird that Joe Biden didn't do the traditional pre-Super Bowl interview, but instead cut a bizarre video in which he's sitting in a movie theater complaining about the price of snacks. This is why. He's trying to shift the blame from the Biden administration, which absolutely, through fiscal mismanagement, caused the inflation crisis of the past 3 years, namely through $1 trillion stimulus package and enhanced unemployment benefits going on far longer than they should have. When we needed to get as many people as possible back to work, that wasn't happening. And as a result, we had a supply chain crisis that led prices even higher. We had a workforce shortage crisis that was causing companies to just not be able to resume normal operations after the COVID lockdowns as quickly as they should have. So if you were wondering why the old man was yelling at snacks, this is why. He knew what was coming, or rather, his handlers knew what was coming. It's always an open question as to what Biden actually knows. They knew this was coming. They knew they needed to shift the blame onto those greedy people at Frito-Lay's. How dare Coca-Cola target innocent Americans? Biden was back out at the National Association of Counties Legislative Council talking about greedflation and shrinkflation, hot on the heels of his Super Bowl video.
I've had enough of what they call shrinkflation. It's a ripoff. Some companies are trying to pull a fast one by shrinking the products little by little and hoping you won't notice. Give me a break. The American public is tired of being played for suckers. I'm calling on companies to put a stop to this. Let's make sure businesses do the right thing now.
That actually wasn't the audio soundbite I was looking for, Dave, but that's okay. That was actually President Biden's video from Super Bowl Sunday. He said basically the same thing in the NACL meeting yesterday. It's not a big deal, Dave. It's almost the word for word. He said the economy's doing great. We're seeing growth. People are making more money. The only thing we're dealing with is greedflation, which is companies price gouging, like that wicked monopoly over at Big Potato Chip. You don't want to mess with Big Nacho. He said, except for greedflation and shrinkflation, we're doing just fine, thank you. Shrinkflation is where companies, they sell their product for the same price, but put less, often slightly less. Do you know where I've noticed this the most? In the Big Mac. The Big Mac of 10 years ago was like twice the size of the Big Mac today. Man, I wish I had a Big Mac. I can have a Big Mac, I just can't have the bun. You know what else you notice about the Big Mac when you've got to go gluten-free? 90% of that sandwich is a bun. There is very little meat in the actual Big Mac. So what companies do is Subway notoriously got busted for this. Their foot-long sub, well, some dude took out a ruler and measured it against his foot-long. The video went viral, and he said, WTF, Subway. That's a classic example. The bread just gets smaller. They put fewer vegetables. They put a little less meat, a little less cheese on it. And I've noticed at Subway, you've got to now pay for the extra meat. Before, you could just kind of say, hey, could you put a little extra meat on there? And your sandwich artist would say, yes, of course. So Biden's trying to pass the blame, and people don't feel good about the American economy primarily because they can't afford anything. They can't afford the lifestyle that they had before Biden became president. And they're starting to say, hey, I noticed things started getting bad exactly January 20th, 2021. What's up with that, old man Biden? Old man Biden says, well, it's the snacks. Don't blame me. It's Big Snack. Be mad at them. Dan O'Donnell Show coming right back.
This is Michael Lynch from the Lynch Truck Center. We've been working hard sourcing work trucks from all over the country. We currently have over 300 commercial work trucks in stock and ready for your choice of upfit. Our sales team is 100% dedicated to commercial trucks, which means our truck professionals can get you the right truck right now. Our new inventory of Chevrolet, GMC, Isuzu, Hino, not to mention our used inventory, Combined with nearly 30 commercial financial lenders, ensures the lowest rates possible for you and the fastest buying experience. Our service center has over 20 dedicated truck bays running 2 shifts, a contact-free sales process, and delivery drivers ready to deliver your truck right to your door. We know your time is important, so we make sure our process is quick and hassle-free. Find your new truck today at lynchtruckcenter.com or stop into the Lynch Truck Center at Highway 36 in Waterford. We won't disappoint you.
Infinity's app shows precise costs of your new roof, providing peace of mind.
Infinity costs less, and the price we quote is surprise-free.
Because we pay less, you pay less. Warranted, guaranteed quality.
Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Don't know what to do for Valentine's Day? Sendix has everything you need to surprise your sweetheart. Stop into your neighborhood Sendix for roses or beautiful bouquet of flowers, or have a talented designer custom design an arrangement that they'll love. Plus, shop a full selection of specialty gifts in store. Make the perfect Valentine's Day dinner at home with savings on Sendix fully trimmed whole beef tenderloins for $9.99 a pound. And don't forget the wine and chocolate-covered strawberries. Sendix Food Markets, your trusted local grocer.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And feel the difference of Relief Factor.
Engagement rings, wedding bands, and big anniversary diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Smart speakers put WISN's programs as close as the sound of your voice. Tell Alexa, Google Home, or Siri on HomePod to play 1130 WISN on iHeartRadio. And listen to Milwaukee's best talk shows.
The next generation. Here. I'm the one. I'm the only one. I'm the one. I'm the only one. You're listening to Dan O'Donnell.
The people have spoken, and they have said with one voice, passionately, forcefully, Dan, if you want us to deal with greedflation and shrinkflation, if you want us to stand up to the scourge of big snack, along with our president, you need to give us a chance to win $1,000 in the cold hard cash contest. All right, I admit it. Totally forgot to do that. The word is credit. C-R-E-D-I-T. Credit. If you got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword credit, that means you've got still a half hour. If it takes you a half hour to go to a website and enter the keyword credit, congratulations, you are the President of the United States. If I sounded a little distracted during the past couple of minutes, it's because the White House has announced a press briefing that they're doing right now, and this is way earlier than they normally do. Let's go live, Dave, to Karine Jean-Pierre. Nope, never mind. That was oh, wait, who's on Fox News now? Take a look. Is this old as well, or is this a live interview with Mike Gallagher? This is old? Okay. The White House has scheduled a press briefing for any minute now. Normally, these don't happen until about noon, 1 p.m. our time. I don't know if this is just responding to the CPI report. Wait, are they doing this right now and Fox isn't going to it? Well, that means they've gotten a tip-off that it's nothing. I don't... Yeah, it's not anything. Folks, Let's just say after that special counsel report came out and Democrats were no longer able to hide the fact 86% of Americans, according to the latest ABC News poll, which was in the field before the special counsel's report came out, 86% say Biden is too old to be president. And Democrats are trying to say, well, he's just watch him. Just watch him. He does more in an hour than most people do in a day. That's what KJP said during yesterday's press briefing. And then 10 minutes later, she was forced to sheepishly admit that, no, the president doesn't actually have any events on his public calendar for today, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's because he's doing just so much each hour that he can't do anything in public. And the White House is so as a result of that, as a result of the fact that the White House is in full-on panic mode. You know how I know this? Politico, which is probably this side of the New York Times editorial board, which is also running editorials saying Biden's too old and maybe it's time to dump him. Politico is about the most influential media outlet for politicos in Washington, D.C. Everyone reads it. Everyone subscribes to the Politico morning and afternoon newsletters. And Politico has a big piece. Here's what replacing Biden would look like. You don't run that, and certainly don't run that first thing on a Monday morning after the Super Bowl. And folks, for those who don't understand media strategy, for those who don't understand how politicians, how leaders sort of manipulate media coverage based on when they actually release information, I was surprised that the special counsel's report came out on Thursday afternoon. I thought for sure it was coming out on Friday afternoon because it was Super Bowl weekend. Everyone focuses on the Super Bowl on the Monday morning after the Super Bowl. So anything that was earlier than that, this is one of the best news dump weekends of the entire year. Especially when you've got the biggest pop star in the world having her fairy tale kiss with rageaholic tight end / potentially abusive boyfriend Travis Kelce. Or do you think Travis doesn't seem like a wife abuser? He just seems like an elder abuser. He's only going to beat up his elderly, overweight coach. I'm kidding, of course. Travis seems like a perfectly nice guy. But man, oh man, was he ticked off at Andy Reid when he was taken out of the game. In any event, that article running on Monday morning was designed to set the media narrative. And despite the White House's assurances that Biden is fine, everything's fine, the concerns amongst, I think, the political power brokers and those in the media who really do have an outsized role in setting the agenda, it's become too big to ignore. And so as a result, every single press conference that this White House holds, I am monitoring like a hawk for anything that would send a signal that the 2024 election cycle is about to be completely upended. But credit to the White House. Credit to former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She was on Anderson Cooper last night. Credit to every other Democrat in Congress. Credit to KJP for sticking to the narrative. And that is, Biden is sharp.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker. This is a very sharp president.
He is sharp. He is on top of things. When we have meetings with him, with his staff, he's constantly pushing us, trying to get more information.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
He's sharp. He is sharp. Just note, they all use the same language. He is sharp. He is focused. That's not a coincidence. The talking points have clearly gone out. But do you know who says Biden's sharpness, his acuity, is a legitimate issue? Joe Biden himself. At least he said so back in 2018 in an interview with CBS's Norah O'Donnell.
Is age a legitimate issue? It is a legitimate issue. Sure it is. And I think people are going to judge it. If I were to run, I think they're going to judge me on my vitality. Can I still run up the steps of Air Force Two? Am I still in good shape? Do I have all my faculties? Am I energetic? I think it's totally legitimate for people to ask those questions.
It is a legitimate question, Mr. President. And an even more legitimate question is, why is your voice so different just 6 years ago? Why do you sound so much more with it than today? The president has joined TikTok, or at least his 20-something comms people thought it was a good idea to join TikTok roughly a calendar year after Biden banned TikTok on all federal government phones. And they really don't want to talk about this hypocrisy. So wait a second. TikTok is a clear threat to democracy. TikTok is a threat to America itself. It's a spyware app, right? Oh, by the way, don't be fooled by the 5 Super Bowl commercials for Temu, T-E-M-U, the shopping app. They say shop like a billionaire. That app installs tons of Chinese spyware. It is 100% a Chinese spyware app. Get your cheap crap from somewhere else. If you've got to go to Amazon, if you've got to go to eBay, don't go to Temu. Little bit of advice from old Uncle Dan. So Biden's on TikTok, and he's dropping these videos to reach the cool kids who see him as an elderly man with a poor memory, much like the special counsel. Would you believe in one of his videos, he sat down with a black family, a father and 2 sons, one's in high school, one's in 7th grade, as they ate fried chicken.
Well, man, you got chicken fingers, you got the whole deal. I want the root of making sure I had the hamburger. So tell me about you guys. What you doing these days?
All right, I want you to compare just the timbre, the tone and timbre of Biden's voice. Here's 2018. I want you to compare this with 2024. 2018.
Is age a legitimate issue? It is a legitimate issue. Sure it is. And I think people are going to judge it. If I were to run, I think they're going to judge me on my vitality. Can I still run up the steps of Air Force Two? Am I still in good shape? Do I have all my faculties? Am I energetic? I think it's totally legitimate for people to ask those questions.
All right, that was 2018. Less than 6 years later, here's 2024 with hamburgers and fried chicken.
Well, man, you got chicken fingers, you got the whole deal. I want the root of making sure I had the hamburger. So tell me about you guys. What you doing these days?
That's not even the same human being in terms of mental acuity. You can tell in his voice. To say nothing of the fact, who thought it was a good idea for these optics? I get it. You have no idea, folks, how much I miss fried chicken. That is one of the things I miss the most. I can't have gluten. Some smart guy is on the DanoCam comment section saying, I don't know what gluten is, but it sure is delicious. Doggone you. I know it's delicious. Try going without pasta, pizza. Gluten is the thing that binds wheat together. You basically can't have wheat. You can't have bread. You can't have beer. You can't have anything with dough, baked goods, that sort of stuff. Man, do I miss some fried chicken. How did nobody in the White House, how shall I put this delicately? How did no one in the White House recognize the racist trope about fried chicken? Incidentally, that family, very yes, sir, no, sir. The sons are both basketball players. The dad is proud as can be. It's like, tell them about the business academy you're in at your high school. It's like, oh, yeah, we go around to different colleges and doing this. And Biden has no earthly idea what this young man is talking about. And I'm saying, okay, let's have this dad be president for the last couple of months, and, the 2 sons could be vice president and White House press secretary. I think we wouldn't miss a beat as a nation. In fact, I think things might improve. Dan O'Donnell Show coming right back.
it's a complete kitchen or bath remodeling or replacement fixtures, the experts at S&K Remodeling can help you. Their designers have their fingers on the pulse of your dreams. Stop by the S&K working showroom and let the remodeling team show you ideas from ordinary to extraordinary. Call 262-782-7185 or visit SNKRemodeling.com.
When it comes to remodeling, one call does it all. SNK Remodeling.
Find Valentine's deals you'll love with One Stop at Meijer. From flowers to sweets, it's all in one place. Get a rose bouquet for $18.99. Choose a Valentine's Day card for someone special. Then get your favorite wine, candy, and chocolate. Or you can build your own bouquet. Pick the flowers, trim, arrange them, and enjoy. And don't forget to shop other quality products and deals across the store. There are so many ways to save this Valentine's Day when you make just one stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Dan O'Donnell here alongside Dave Spano, President and CEO of Annex. It's This Week with Annex Wealth Management. And this week, Dave, a lot of investors are wondering, where do we go from here? Specifically, what does the Federal Reserve do? And are we going to get a soft landing or any kind of landing? Because in order to land, you've got to get down from record highs.
Yeah, that's right. So exactly 5,000 on the S&P 500, and there certainly seems to be this feeling of FOMO starting to kick in, or fear of missing out. But again, it's exactly right, Dan. We're talking about the Federal Reserve, and we're talking about earnings. The Federal Reserve, of course, it looks like they're going to wait to cut rates. You know, we talked about first they're going to raise rates, then they're going to pause, and then they're going to pivot. But that pivot may not be next month, as a lot of investors have expected. So interest rates may be higher because of wage inflation. When we saw the CPI report, we saw that wages continue to grow because of so many open jobs. And the second piece, of course, is earnings have come out and they have been better than expected. But listen to this. Of the Magnificent Seven, if they were their own index, it would constitute 29% of the total market capitalization. So there's no question that the Magnificent Seven continues to go. Their earnings are doing well on comparison. The other 493 stocks, only 1.9% earnings growth. So we need to take a look at that. You have to go through your portfolio, know what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it. Get a customized financial plan aligned with your customized portfolio.
I'm telling you, you absolutely don't want to miss out on this. I have had one of Annex's professionals look over my own portfolio, and I got some great advice. For Dave Spano, the president and CEO of Annex, I'm Dan O'Donnell. Thanks so much for listening to this week's edition of This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
When it comes to remodeling, everyone has advice about who you should hire. But who can you trust? Your boss? Neighbors? Random online reviews? No. When it comes to remodeling, you can trust NARI. All NARI members are experienced, proven, qualified, and verified by local people who know the industry and have your back.
Join us for the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show, February 16th through 18th at State Fair Park. Get discount tickets at NARIMilwaukee.org.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
It's easy to see. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust.
The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. We all know something big is coming, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming more self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, and they make it easy for you to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells large solar generators, gravity-powered water filtration systems, heirloom seeds for your garden, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items will ship that same day. Time is short. Prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
That's right. He's back.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
You can once again listen to the Joe Rogan Experience podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
It's about transcending whatever you think you are and becoming something better. That's what it's about.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search the Joe Rogan Experience, and listen now. While you're there, check out the smartest and most listened to conspiracy podcast, Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Joe Biden has vision, he has knowledge, he has a strategic thinker. This is a very sharp president.
He is sharp. He is on top of things. When we have meetings with him, with his staff, he's constantly pushing us, trying to get more information.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Got that? He is totally different in private. This is like a different guy. He is doing cartwheels while singing "I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General" from the Pirates of Penzance at every meeting. You just don't see it. Now, he comes out and he talks to the American people. He thinks he's talking to long dead leaders of Germany and France. And there's actually a long list. There are at least 9 instances in 3 years. Apparently, RNC Research, great X account by the Republican National Committee. And yes, we will cover the... If there is one weakness that Trump has... Okay, there's more than one weakness that Donald Trump has. It is the ungodly nepotism. Your daughter-in-law is not the most qualified person to be co-chair of the RNC. Okay? Laura Trump is apparently Trump's suggestion for, wouldn't you know it, out of all of the people who work in local and state Republican Party politics, the most qualified person is Trump's own daughter-in-law. What are the odds of that? This is why Michael Whatley, the head of the North Carolina GOP, is Trump's endorsed candidate to take over when Ronna Romney McDaniels totally doesn't step down following the South Carolina primary. She refuted reports in the New York Times that she was going to do so. She is totally going to do so. It's going to be the Michael Whatley and Laura Trump show. Sigh. I don't want to get into all of the finances. Ronna Romney McDaniel has been an absolute disaster. I don't think people understand a lot about what it is the national committees and the state committees, what the party actually does. Do you know what? Far more for the Republican Party than the Democratic Party. There's much more central planning over on the Democrat side. Real surprising, right? They just sort of follow orders. from the smoky back room. Remember, Democrats were always involved in the machine party politics throughout the first 150 years of American politics, especially at the city level and at the state level. It was always the machine. There was always in New York City, Tammany Hall. Everybody remembers that. But most Democrat-controlled cities had political machines. They had the machine that would say, okay, you're the candidate. Here's who we're all voting for. And the DNC operates very much like that. The RNC and the RPW, the Republican Party of Wisconsin, are primarily fundraising organizations. The number one job you've got as head of the RNC that Reince Priebus understood very well is raise money. What his immediate predecessor, Michael Steele, and his successor, Ronna Romney McDaniel, did not is you can't fritter away money. Michael Steele loved him the good life, and he was fired in favor of Priebus because the party's finances were a mess in large measure because he was spending all this money on limousines and private jets and himself and his buddies. What did Ronna Romney McDaniel do? The exact same thing. From what I understand, and I don't know the head of the North Carolina GOP or know much about it, what I do understand is that he's a financial hardliner. All of the money that they raise is going directly into elections. It's going into data. It's going into the things that you actually need to do to spend money. I just have an issue. And it's not just because it's Trump. I would have an issue. I mean, Ronna Romney McDaniel, Mitt Romney's niece. I have an issue with the nepotism in politics that leads to people who aren't necessarily the most qualified. I mean, Republicans rail against DEI for the exact same people would be praising Trump. Yes, your daughter-in-law is perfect for this, are railing against unqualified people being hired through DEI. As the kids say, make it make sense. Now, President Biden is rather obviously not in peak physical or mental shape. There is an open question. Politico is openly laying out the steps for Democrats to replace him. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Who is the candidate that Republicans fear the most? Rank and file Republicans, people like you and I. You listening to this show, think about you yourself. If there was one Democrat in the world who scared you about swooping in and winning this election, who would it be? I'm thinking, I am hearing without hearing. My extrasensory perception is hearing every single one of you with one voice saying one name: Michelle Obama. She is the boogeyman, or I guess boogie woman, that keeps conservatives up at night. Now, out of any advisor to Barack and Michelle Obama, any political figure, who do you think would be one of the closest? Who do you think would know them best? Someone who goes all the way back to Barack Obama's days in Chicago. Probably David Axelrod, right? Axelrod was on the Michael Smerconish show on CNN and asked flat out, Republicans are constantly scared about Michelle Obama running. You know them best. What's your take, David?
Well, here's what I know. Michelle Obama loves this country. She's a brilliant person and a brilliant communicator, but she was a conscript to politics. She never was interested in a political life. Even when Barack Obama was a young politician, she really didn't participate much in his campaigns. I was with him in his Senate campaign in 2004. I think she showed up twice in the whole campaign on election nights. So, she is not someone who likes politics. She doesn't like the tone and tenor of politics. And I would be floored if she would consent to that. They feel that they gave 10 years of their life to this, and I'm sure she feels as Barbara Bush did when she said there has to be someone other than the Bushes and the Clintons who could be president of the United States. My guess is that's her attitude. I always say, Michael, that I have as much chance of dancing in the Bolshoi Ballet next year than that she would be president of the United States.
What is Axelrod saying without saying it? Well, no, he's obviously saying she's not running. She doesn't want to work. Do you think after 8 years, 7-8 years, of the Obamas being paid to essentially just be the Obamas, that Michelle would give up being one of the most loved and admired people just for being her, just for being a strong, confident black woman? Do you think she would give that all up to become the most controversial person in America, just by definition of the office of the presidency? Do you think she would want to have one of the toughest jobs in the entire world, being president of the United States, when David Axelrod said, well, she doesn't like politics, she doesn't like the day-to-day grind of policy? And that was always the perception of her husband. He didn't like the minutia of politics. This is why I've never believed that Barack Obama is secretly pulling the strings. The Obamas don't want to be powerful. They want to be royalty. They want to be exactly who they are right now. Have hundreds of millions of dollars, be celebrities, be fawned over, not go back to the daily grind, and not have to work as hard as they would need to be back in power. We'll be right back with the Unhinged Liberal of the Day.
Winter in Wisconsin offers two options, hibernate or activate. For those who choose the latter,
warm up your goggles with
playing the nationwide Cold Hard Cash Contest 9 times each weekday on News Talk 1130 WISN. Listen for a keyword, enter it at WISN's website, and take your shot at the hourly prize of $1,000.
The Cold Hard Cash Contest is presented by Ward Kitchen and Bath, specializing in the redesign of master bathrooms, turning your spaces into amazing places. WardKitchenandBath.com.
Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. At Semper Fi, it's the banner we all march under, because the reputation we earn and uphold belongs to all of us. And without a strong reputation in the exterior remodeling business, you're here today and gone tomorrow. And when you've earned a good reputation, that's what makes the difference in value. It's the little extra that you get for the price. And that assurance is actually what counts the most, because it means the good money you're spending with us is not going to go to waste. A roof you can rely on, with a warranty that has a backbone, Craftsman quality airtight window and door installations, brick and stone masonry that's clean and sharp, and new siding that's been known to stop traffic. And it's all backed by a team that over the last 20 years have put a lot of heart and soul into building a reputation that you can believe in. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hey business owners, it's Joe Breyer with Lake Country Advisors. Are you thinking about selling your business but have questions about the overall value, how to keep things confidential, who would buy your business, or maybe you're just curious about the overall process? No need to worry. At Lake Country Advisors, we offer a free exit strategy consultation to answer all your questions about selling your business. We are local, experienced, and trusted. So visit us today at LakeCountryAdvisors.com. That's Lake Country Advisors, changing the way businesses change hands.
Go ahead, let the daydreams of spring begin and be ready for the road trips ahead. The once-a-year auto show sale is on at Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. Perfect timing to explore all that's new from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, or a GM-certified pre-owned model. Connect with Holiday for impressive selection, enticing offers, get more for your trade, and experience for yourself car shopping that's fun, simple, and pressure-free. Team Holiday's relaxed and welcoming welcoming attitude, transparent, simplified buying approach, and passion for going the extra mile is the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State and beyond. You'll be in good hands and good company with Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer and top-selling GM certified pre-owned dealer on your side. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC in Fond du Lac and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Most people know us as a trusted landscape contractor, but did you know that we've been crafting decorative concrete and masonry features for almost 30 years? All concrete is not the same. Do you know what to ask for when planning a landscape project that includes concrete? For example, there are many types of concrete mixes available, and if you don't request a premium mix, you'll likely get a bargain mix, and a driveway or patio made with a bargain mix is not a bargain at all. We use only premium concrete mixes from trusted producers, and our decorative concrete and masonry features are crafted by our own artisans, not subcontractors. There's so much to consider when preparing for your landscaping project. Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services has been serving southeastern Wisconsin since 1994. We are an established, trusted landscape contractor. Please call 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like the Beatles Now and Then, celebrating all things Beatles.
Together, you say goodbye, and I say hello.
Legendary clips, deep cuts, live performances, and all their solo hits. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and search the Beatles Now and Then and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
iHeartRadio.
What if you actually loved your home improvement contractor? You'll know the feeling after our first date. This month, we're offering a $100 Bartolotta's gift card to anyone who purchases and another $100 gift card to anyone you refer. Book our date today at weathertightcorp.com.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Welcome back, Dan O'Donnell Show. Time to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
America is over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is the woman from Boston who took in a Haitian illegal immigrant family after the state of Massachusetts started allowing woke liberals to prove how woke they are by taking in families. Oh, you want illegals in your community? You want them in your home? Great! Take them in. Take in a family. Yesterday, I think it might have been on the Mark Belling late afternoon show, we told you the story of one woke couple that clicked on the link and said, yeah, we'll take a family. Within an hour, the state of Massachusetts dropped off a family of 4 on their doorstep. An hour. This is how desperate this state is. Well, this woman, interviewed by WBZ, taking in a Haitian family, said, it's great. It's like having your own personal chef. Oh my God. This just came into me. I am going to take the commercial break, the news break, and try to get this audio because I couldn't believe it. That woman, your unhinged and possibly antebellum liberal of the day. It's great having a Haitian family. I don't think I need to tell you the race of most Haitian people. She takes them into her house. She's not paying them. And the woman is her personal chef now. And all during Black History Month. Hey, you're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Big controversy involving the superintendent of the Green Bay School District, plus quite possibly the most racist potential slave owner in Massachusetts. When we come back.
Here at Rich Lawns, we offer both comfort service and expert service.
Our comfort service comes with movie theater popcorn, hot gourmet coffee, upfront pricing, on-time scheduling, plus anything else we can do to keep you comfortable.
Put that on top of honest service from the most friendliest, hard-working people you'll ever meet inside a tire and service center, and well, we'd like to believe we're on the right track to meeting your expectations.
But when your check engine light, tire light, or any other light screams, "Service me," well, that means you're due for our other type of service.
Our expert service. Tires, brakes, belts, mufflers, transmissions, and even engine repair.
Come on into Richlands and put our expert service to the test.
And while you're relaxing, enjoy our comfort services too. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
due for service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. The state assembly is set to vote today on a $2.1 billion tax cut package from Republicans. The four bills passed the legislature's Joint Finance Committee on a party-line vote last week. The measures would expand the second lowest state tax bracket to include filers earning between $19,000 and $150,000 per year, exempt up to $75,000 of retirees' income, and expand tax credits for married filers and for those with children. Governor Tony Evers last year twice vetoed bills cutting taxes for the state's top earners. It's unclear whether he'll sign any of these bills. Two people were taken into custody after a police chase and crash early this morning in West Dallas. When police tried to conduct a traffic stop near 84th and Pierce, the driver didn't pull over and the pursuit began. When stop sticks were successfully deployed, the fleeing vehicle lost two tires before it crashed into a parked car. Two people who ran from the vehicle were taken into custody shortly after the crash. Early this morning, the U.S. Senate passed a $95 billion foreign aid bill with assistance for Ukraine and Israel. The package includes billions of dollars to support Ukraine and for security assistance for Israel, as well as humanitarian assistance for civilians in Gaza, the West Bank, and Ukraine. House Speaker Mike Johnson and many House Republicans are opposed to further aid for Ukraine. Former President Donald Trump has also signaled opposition to the bill. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard after defeating the Denver Nuggets last night, the Bucks next host the Miami Heat tonight at the Fiserv Forum. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Partly cloudy and a bit cooler today. High near 38, northwest breeze around 5 to 10 miles per hour. A few clouds and upper 20s tonight. Should be in the low to mid 40s on Wednesday with increasingly cloudy skies, rain and snow arriving Wednesday night. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Piggly Wiggly Supermarkets. ShopThePig.com.
Shop the Pig! Save big when you shop the Pig. This week's Piggly Wiggly's in-store special. Prairie Fresh pork baby back ribs, just $2.99 a pound. Hurry! Stop by and shop today. Piggly Wiggly! Shop the Pig!
This is Michael Lynch from the Lynch Truck Center. We've been working hard sourcing work trucks from all over the country. We currently have over 300 commercial work trucks in stock and ready for your choice of upfit. Our sales team is 100% dedicated to commercial trucks, which means our truck professionals can get you the right truck right now. Our new inventory of Chevrolet, GMC, Isuzu, Hino, not to mention our used inventory, combined with nearly 30 commercial financial lenders, ensures the lowest rates possible for you and the fastest buying experience. Our service center has over 20 dedicated truck bays running 2 shifts, a contact-free sales process, and delivery drivers ready to deliver your truck right to your door. We know your time is important, so we make sure our process is quick and hassle-free. Find your new truck today at lynchtruckcenter.com. Or stop into the Lynch Truck Center at Highway 36 in Waterford. We won't disappoint you.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, when we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you to the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code CLAY.
That's right. He's back.
Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
You can once again listen to the Joe Rogan Experience podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
It's about transcending whatever you think you are and becoming something better. That's what it's about.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search the Joe Rogan Experience, and listen now. While you're there, check out the smartest and most listened to conspiracy podcast, Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Be sure to listen to the NX Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. NX provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
As if things couldn't get bad enough for President Biden, Tony Bobulinski is now testifying before the House committee investigating his corrupt business dealings with his son. Part of that testimony from Bobulinski, quote, "I want to be crystal clear from my direct personal experience and what I have subsequently come to learn. It is clear to me that Joe Biden was the brand being sold by the Biden family. His family's foreign influence peddling operation from China to Ukraine and elsewhere sold out to foreign actors who were seeking to gain influence and access to Joe Biden and the United States government. Joe Biden was more than a participant in and beneficiary of his family's business. He was an enabler despite being buffered by a complex scheme to maintain plausible deniability." Now, Tony Bobulinski would know because he was Hunter Biden's partner in a company called Sino-Hawk Industries. This was designed to get money from CEFC, which is a Chinese energy conglomerate. Around the time Hunter and his associates get a $3 million payment from an entity controlled by CEFC, Joe Biden attended a CEFC meeting at the Four Seasons in Washington, D.C. The chairman of CEFC, and just so we're all clear, this is a Chinese energy conglomerate, which means you don't get to be an energy conglomerate in China without the government being involved, without the government essentially controlling your operations. But the chairman of this, Yi Jianming, and other top officials were in attendance. Biden, the elder, has maintained over and over again, I have never even talked to my son about business, yet here he is attending a meeting at the Four Seasons in Washington with the people who have just given his son $3 million. In other words, Hunter Biden gets money from CEFC. CEFC gets access to Joe Biden. Now, this was after Biden had left office. Why would they still want access to Biden? Because everybody in the world knew that Biden was going to run for president and that he was still very plugged in. He was still very influential. And hey, as an added bonus, he just might be the next president of the United States. Now, it should also be noted that while Hunter and Joe were taking these meetings and getting these payments, Hunter's work with CEFC, it actually began in February of 2016 when Biden was vice president of the United States. Hunter gets paid after Joe leaves office, and they get their access to him. It's not nearly as valuable as it was when Joe was vice president, but this is still very valuable. We'll have more on this. This is just breaking from the House Oversight Committee, which is doing just an excellent job in outlining exactly how this corruption scheme worked. But first, we'll get you the 10 o'clock word in the Cold Hard Cash contest. That word is bonus, B-O-N-U-S, bonus. You have got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and go to well, it'll just pop up. You just need to go to the website. I'm like, do you need to go to a site? Do you need to click on anything? No, it'll like be right in your face. One thing to note, if you're on a web browser, make sure you have your pop-up blocker turned off for either newstalk1130.com or WIBA.com, and because otherwise it might be blocked. A lot of people have been texting me, Dan, the thing doesn't come up, and I'm just because of the pop-up blocker. The word is bonus, B-O-N-U-S. Go to our website, enter the keyword bonus. You get a nice little bonus of $1,000 instantly. During our Unhinged Liberal of the Day segment, a lot of people said, Dan, you have got to find the audio soundbite of this liberal saying she loves having a Haitian immigrant family living with her because she gets a free personal chef. The story was not, I thought it was from WBZ. It's actually from the NBC affiliate in Boston. The woman's name is Lisa Hillenbrand.
It's a delight, and it's really fun having them. What I realized is there's so much prejudice against refugees, mostly because people don't know them.
Lisa says she feels like she has her own personal chef, as Wildande loves cooking. ¿Te gusta la ocupación? Sí. In fact, her goal is to open up her own restaurant.
Te gusta la ocupación. Do you know what that means? Do you like your job? Do you like your job? Your job. The video that was being showed was this woman cooking in Lisa Hildenbrand's apartment. Okay, so her job is to be a personal chef for Lisa. Lisa is not paying Hildande any money, but she is giving her free room and board in exchange for doing work for which Hildande does not get a salary. Turns out Democrats really haven't changed all that much since the 1860s. We're all clear what's going on here, right? Lisa Hillenbrand might actually have a slave. Listen to this again.
It's a delight, and it's really fun having them. What I realized is there's so much prejudice against refugees, mostly because people don't know them.
Lisa says she feels like she has her own personal chef, as Wildande loves cooking. ¿Te gusta la ocupación? Sí. In fact, her goal is to open up her own restaurant.
I'm really nervous about what Lisa Hillenbrand is going to have the husband start doing to, earn his keep around the house. Fortunately, there are no fields in downtown Boston. Otherwise, I'm fairly certain Lisa would, You know, do these people, are you so woke you don't realize how insane this is, how insanely racist this is? Is there going to be a single, if I'm the Boston NAACP, I'm making a call to Lisa Hillenbrand saying, so we kind of have a long-standing issue with white people not paying black people. I'm fairly certain this sort of thing was declared not to be legal in like 1865. You might have heard about a war that was fought over this. In any event, bit of a bombshell at, of all places, the Green Bay School Board meeting last night when a former member by the name of Ed Dorff was able to talk during the public comment section. Now, what's very interesting here is Dorff was the only person who talked during the public comment section. In other words, he I think Skyped in or was on a Zoom in, which means board members wanted to hear from him specifically because of what he had to say about the school's superintendent, Dr. Claude Tiller.
On Saturday, I was made aware of and then watched a video of a live-streamed interview that our superintendent did on a radio show in Atlanta earlier in the week. While, as I understand it, isn't a video of our district's origin, I understand that the district does have a copy, which is, as I understand as well, subject to open records requests. I strongly encourage the district to make this video publicly available so that people can view the entire piece before drawing any conclusions one way or another. In that interview, Dr. Tiller spoke of being called to go to Green Bay. He said he's a man of faith and that he leads by example. There were station or commercial breaks during the interview, and the microphones in the studio stayed on. They stayed live. During the course of the interview, between the actual questions and answers and the breaks, the superintendent spoke of Green Bay and of specific individuals and the community as a whole. He referred to a subordinate as a wicked witch and a bitch spelled out. He spelled that out. I've known and worked with that individual for 18 years, and they have bent over backwards to serve the best interests of all kids in our most ethnically and economically diverse schools. He used the term lily white to describe Green Bay. He suggested that a major employer wanted to keep people down and that they gave parties for kids as a substitute for doing right by their workers. He called into question the ability of 92% of the teaching staff to really do their jobs effectively. These are things I all saw and heard. I understood that the district had, I understood that several district staff members have viewed this video. They viewed it on Thursday. And by Saturday afternoon, the video was taken down by whoever posted it.
Okay. Then that's not the stuff you normally hear at a school board meeting. The superintendent going down to Atlanta, Claude Tiller, the superintendent, was apparently down there, this according to the Green Bay Press-Gazette, to recruit teachers from Morehouse College, presumably because 92% of his current teachers can't do their jobs. He went on a show called Real-Asianship Talk on 1380 WAUK, hosted by Adrienne Berry. The show aired on February 6th and focused on navigating educational leadership. This according to the station's Facebook page. The show segment is not available online. The nature of Tiller's comments are unknown. The Press-Gazette has submitted a public records request to the school district for a recording of the show. Other groups have put in similar requests, including news organizations, community members, and the teachers union. It's not known whether the district has a copy of the talk show recording. In a statement, the school board confirmed, it appears, what was going on. Board of Education members are aware of the Atlanta radio talk show interview with Superintendent Dr. Claude Tiller Jr. We are currently working through some of the issues raised that warrant further review and discussion. Because this is in part a personnel issue, we are not able to make any additional comments of this at this time. Tiller was not at the board meeting, which is pretty unusual. And a director of communications for the school district said she couldn't confirm whether Tiller is on administrative leave. You know why that is? Because Tiller is totally on administrative leave. They're not going to comment on this, of course, because it's a personnel matter and all of that. She told the media before the start of the interview the board would not be granting any interviews. Dorff, who was also a principal in the school district, as well as being a school board member, he was the only speaker, again, which is rather unusual. The school district is currently working with attorney Jeffrey Lacey, according to the district's legal counsel, Melissa Teal Collar. Lacey represented the Pulaski School District when it got a restraining order against the Wisconsin chapter leader of Gays Against Groomers. Lacey told the Press Gazette in an email there was no official request from the board to remove the video, and the board is unaware of the circumstances surrounding its removal. The board had a closed session meeting Friday evening, quote, to discuss strategy for potential litigation, end quote. Now, what's really interesting about this as well is Tiller is not deeply entrenched. He's not been superintendent for 10 years. He was just hired in July. He came from the Detroit public school system. And it appears his tenure is going to be very short. Why would there be potential litigation over this? Any guesses? Who would be suing the school district as a result of this video? The teachers union? Nope. Nope. Claude Tiller. Do you know why? Because the board is rather obviously preparing to fire Claude Tiller. So there's going to have to be severance negotiations, the potential for a lawsuit. It doesn't help matters that Claude Tiller is black. The majority of the school board is white. These are, unfortunately, in 2024, issues that need to be navigated. The show that he appeared on was primarily aimed at black audiences. There is the possibility, of course, that he is going to raise the racism defense, that this is something, it's a black man speaking his mind, and you can't fire me for that. There is a potential First Amendment issue here. I mean, Tiller was not acting, I guess, in his official capacity. He was talking about relationships with Adrienne Barry. Now, he was down in Atlanta on an official recruiting teachers trip. But it is, and here's, by the way, how that interview got disappeared from social media, how it's off the internet. Who asked to have the interview disappeared? Claude Tiller. I mean, I think this is pretty self-explanatory as to why. He recognized, someone saw it. I don't know if it was Ed Dorff. Dorff said he was made aware of this. He says a number of people in the district saw this. Now, what's going to be interesting is whether they actually had a copy of the video or whether the stream, and I'm taking a wild guess. How this happens is, okay, so here's what I want you to do. If you're not watching the live stream of the Dano Cam, okay? I want you to check it out right now, because I am going to show you, if you've never checked out the Dano Cam before, I'm going to show you what people see during the commercial breaks. All right, you ready? Head over to Dan O'Cam at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, YouTube.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. Check it out. All right. So what we show, it's called an overlay, and it's the show's logo, which, by the way, we're going to work with a graphic artist and video designer. We're going to do a little revamping for the show. So what you're seeing on the Dan O'Cam right now is usually what will air during commercials. If I'm sitting here and answering questions on the Dan O'Cam, you know, we put comments up and questions up on the screen. Sometimes you'll see my face and I'll answer those questions while the commercial is running. What you would normally hear right now would be a commercial, like, don't think twice, call Geis. Well, my microphone can still be live. All right. So sometimes I'll talk to Dave, and sometimes our conversations are not things. Dave and I are good friends. We talk like good friends do. And, you know, we say stuff that maybe we wouldn't want people to hear. Like 92% of the other talk show hosts can't do their jobs. Like, we say this regularly. In fact, it's practically the mission statement of the, no, I'm kidding, of course. But we will talk about stuff, and sometimes we'll say, you know, sometimes we'll say naughty words back to each other, right? Okay, so you can't see me and you're hearing the commercial. So the commercial is running while we're talking. But instead of hitting the talkback button, we accidentally hit the microphone. The microphone is live. So you're hearing inet-web.com and also Dan O'Donnell and Dave Michaels saying some naughty stuff. We can pull down the live stream and the podcast will still be up, right? But the podcast, the great thing about listening to podcasts, and you should subscribe to the Dan O'Donnell Show podcast, right? Obviously, go to iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, like iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, do it all. If you're a big fan of the Dan O'Donnell Show, please do so. It's how my corporate overlords gauge my success. Social media followers, podcast subscribers, that sort of thing. All we are is literally numbers on a page. It's okay. I've come to terms with my life. I am a product. The Dan O'Donnell Show, Dan O'Donnell, the person, is actually the product that iHeartMedia sells. I'm cool with this, but I need your help in, you know, helping me expand the brand, as it were. But we take out the commercials. Producer Dave and I have spent now at least 2 hours on the WAOK page, on various podcasts. We have been trying. We can pull down the live stream and we can take out the naughty words from the podcast. You'd never hear it if you didn't hear it live. So what's going to be interesting is, and by the way, as soon as this show's over, in fact, possibly during the next commercial break, I'm going to be filing an open records request myself to the Green Bay School District for any copy of this that exists. I am also putting out, and I actually already sent this out to WAUK, or AOK, not WAUK, the liberal station out of Waukesha. But my strong suspicion is that this is never going to come back online. Therefore, if someone didn't record it, it's entirely possible. And this is also why some of the litigation could potentially be here, because Tilly now has plausible deniability, right? Tilly can now say that I didn't say this. You can't prove that I said it. This guy's lying. Therefore, we do need a physical copy. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We'll be right back after this.
Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. At Semper Fi, it's the banner we all march under, because the reputation we earn and uphold belongs to all of us. And without a strong reputation in the exterior remodeling business, you're here today and gone tomorrow. And when you've earned a good reputation, that's what makes the difference in value. It's the little extra that you get for the price. And that assurance is actually what counts the most, because it means the good money you're spending with us is not going to go to waste. A roof you can rely on, with a warranty that has a backbone, Craftsman quality airtight window and door installations, brick and stone masonry that's clean and sharp, and new siding that's been known to stop traffic. And it's all backed by a team that over the last 20 years have put a lot of heart and soul into building a reputation that you can believe in. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Don't know what
what to do for Valentine's Day? Sendix has everything you need to surprise your sweetheart. Stop into your neighborhood Sendix for roses or beautiful bouquet of flowers, or have a talented designer custom design an arrangement that they'll love. Plus, shop a full selection of specialty gifts in store. Make the perfect Valentine's Day dinner at home with savings on Sendix fully trimmed whole beef tenderloins for $9.99 a pound. And don't forget the wine and chocolate-covered strawberries. Sendix Food Markets, your trusted local grocer.
Tune in every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as Ellen Becker Investment Group highlights local people and organizations who are using their time and their talents to give back to make a difference in our community. Milwaukee's philanthropic community. Visit ellenbecker.com to learn more.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you to the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code CLAY.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Both grateful and humble for the unwavering support of our listeners. It's because of you that this is Wisconsin's most listened to radio station. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Sorry, I was helping a video production guy that we've got working here into the building. Yeah, we're putting together some pre-produced videos. Yeah, for me. Wait, what do you think, for you? You're not pretty enough to be on camera in there, Dave. What's that? Dave knows how our business works. He goes, I just assumed that the sports station would be getting all the videographers and stuff. No, we're doing videos for this show, also the McIver Institute. We're going back to, I did this a couple of years ago, but realized it is just way too time consuming, especially doing 2 radio shows. I can write and voice and you know, be on camera for these, but video editing takes so long. It is such an involved process. I grew up doing audio editing, so I can edit pieces of audio. I put together all of our montages that you hear on the Dan O'Donnell Show, unless I say it's from Grabien or Fox News or something like that. If you hear a montage, like the one we did about Biden being totally fine. Apparently, KJP during this morning's press briefing said he enjoys swimming in the White House pool. Yeah, like he's doing a triple Lindy off of the diving board, like back to school. The president is clearly not fine, but we put together a montage, you know, of all the people saying, oh, he's sharp. He's totally with it. And, you know, I just can't edit together the videos that I want to. It just takes too much time. And Dave, what do you think? Do you want to start editing some video? No, he says. Just rendering video, like putting all of the cuts together to make a finished thing that you would see, sometimes that can take, you got to sit and make sure it actually renders. Sometimes that can take 45 minutes itself, where you're just basically sitting and waiting for something to render. So, oh, look at this. Steve over at iNet Marketing. He was listening as I was explaining what happens during that ad. The first, honest to God, this is the power of, I guess, iNet Marketing, because the first thing that popped into my head, like, how can I express that there's a commercial running? First thing that pops into my head is inet-web.com. And Steve, I think I do that inet-web.com better than Libby does. I'm just calling it right now. Oh yeah, Steve Libby is the one who sings inet-web.com, and he's a very loyal fan of the show, as well as a great advertiser over at WISN. I mean, he just does tons of business. We're so thankful for that relationship. He says, thank you so much for the shout out. He says, and he's right, they do have incredibly talented videographers and stuff there. So I guess that's an option too, and editors. You know what I need to do is go on the radio more often and say things I need. Like, for example, Lisa Hillenbrand, right? The potential slave holder from Boston, Massachusetts. Like, she just said, I need a personal chef. Lo and behold, state of Massachusetts drops off a Haitian family.
It's a delight. And it's really fun having them. What I realized is there's so much prejudice against refugees, mostly because people don't know them.
Lisa says she feels like she has her own personal chef, as Wildande loves cooking. ¿Te gusta la ocupación? Sí. In fact, her goal is to open up her own restaurant.
I cannot express how much I love this audio soundbite. I gotta post the video. Kudos to, I think it was Paso. I think it was Jack Posobiec, the editor of Human Events, who first found this gem of an interview with a lefty so woke she doesn't realize that she might actually be engaged. She might actually be employing slave labor. I mean, it's just too funny. The line between woke and super racist is remarkably thin. We're going to step aside for another. Do we have 2 more commercial breaks in this? Okay, then we really do need to step aside. What? No, I'm not on time. You sure? Dave is saying just keep going. What do you think? Should I keep going until 11 o'clock and just preempt Clay and Buck? Should I text Travis and be like, sorry, bruh, you're not being aired today? No, we are actually powerless to stop the computer from switching over to Clay and Buck. In fact, we've tested this a couple of times, and I'll be talking, and I'm just cut off mid-word. Okay, I didn't want to mention that. Dave goes, just like Vicky at the end of the 3 o'clock hour. Or at the end of the 2 o'clock hour. Yeah, Vicky does her show out of Madison at WIBA. And those of you listening to me on WIBA in Madison, I do the show out of Milwaukee, technically Greenfield. But you get the idea, or WISN radio. So I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I don't listen because we can't get WIBA. The signal isn't strong enough to get it in Milwaukee. Do I just get cut off? Oh, Dave goes very proudly, goes, no, because I keep you on time. He's the best producer in the business, ladies and gentlemen, keeping me on time right now. We'll be right back on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kiandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for my friends at the Lynch Automotive family of dealerships. It's Truck Month once again at Lynch, and they have all the American trucks you love. Chevys, GMCs, Fords, Rams. Take advantage of these low financing offers this month. Purchase a new Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra and receive 2.9% financing for up to 72 months, or pay just 1.9% financing for up to 72 months on select new Ford F-150s in stock, or receive a $4,500 rebate when you buy a new Ram truck. Also included in every new vehicle purchase at the Lynch family of dealerships, the Lynch Protected program, which covers your paint, windshield, and tires for 1 year after purchase at absolutely no cost to you. Low financing and peace of mind when you choose Lynch. Head over to shoplynch.com today. That's shoplynch.com.
What's the way to build your wealth?
I want to talk about annuities and variable life insurance policies. And I'm going to come right out and say that I've never been a fan of either. In fact, in over 30 years, I have rarely recommended annuities to clients. And in that same time, I've never recommended a variable life insurance policy. Now, it's always a matter of opinion, and there are two sides to every story. I just want to make sure that you've heard both sides for both options. So if you're looking at those types of products, give us a call, because it's prudent to hear all sides. At the very least, we can give you the pros and cons and help you make a good decision. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
For your new roof, we'll give you the hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty in the industry. You can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Tom Nichols with Meisner, Tierney, Fisher & Nichols.
Sometimes it helps to see around corners. That's true in business and tax law, and I'm sure it's true in your business. At Meisner, Tierney, Fisher & Nichols, our unique ability to do that can have a big impact on your bottom line. Recently, actions spoke louder than words. Applying our cutting-edge familiarity with current tax law, we helped pass Wisconsin Act 368, which now provides S-corps, LLCs, and other pass-through entities an opportunity for significant tax savings and can lead to a solid bump in your business's after-tax net income. High integrity and earned respect have been hallmarks of our firm for quite some time. We've been representing businesses here in Wisconsin for over 170 years. And partnering with a firm that can help you see around corners will help you chart a course for your business that leads to long-term success.
Good clients deserve good lawyers. Meisner, Tierney, Fisher & Nichols. MTFN.com.
The next generation ultimate double hung window from Marvin, featuring never before seen hardware, operation, performance, and design, is an impressive product. With the flick of the sweep, the bottom and top sashes can both be opened to let air in. And when one sash is open, the other can be locked, a feature that no other double hung window on the market offers. And in vent mode, the sash can be opened up to 4 inches while remaining locked, giving you added ventilation with security. In my life, I've seen plenty of windows, but I've never been as excited as I am to offer Marvin's next generation ultimate double hung window to you. This is David Wilhelm. See for yourself, Marvin windows and doors are built around you. And Marvin's next generation ultimate double hung window is proof positive of that. See Wisconsin's largest selection of Marvin windows and doors at your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door. Brillo, Brillo, Brillo.
Visit BrilloHomeImprovements.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Anka.
And I'm Skip Bronson.
What happens when two old friends take their decades of experience in the business and sit down with our buddies?
You get Our Way, a brand new show from iHeart Podcast where we chop it up with our pals about everything under the sun.
Hear amazing guests like Jason Bateman, Michael Bublé, Mark Burnett, and many more as they sit down with Paul and Skip.
This is our podcast, and we're going to do it our way.
Listen to Our Way on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, but does the Paul Anka podcast have Paul Anka's guarantee? Guarantee void in Tennessee. Anyone who gets that reference, I am seriously prepared to Venmo you $5. 414-799-1130, theadventknows.com talk and text line. I am told I actually can't do that. And shall we say various members of law enforcement have reached out to me, not to say that I would be committing crimes, but say, Dan, you really don't want to just give out your private Venmo in front of tens of thousands of people. Probably a bad idea. I want to alert you to the following headline. WISN 12, no connection anymore, at least, with WISN Radio. Here is the headline from reporter Kendall Keys. Tornado shelter survives Evansville storm. I mean, isn't that what it's supposed to do? Isn't that like, wouldn't the headline be like, tornado shelter does not survive Evansville storm? When a tornado hit last week, Virginia Clower's neighbors knew where they could find shelter. It's actually a really good story by Ms. Keys regarding family and friends coming to Virginia's tornado shelter to like get through the storm, and a firsthand account of the tornado that ripped through Evansville. I guess it destroyed 3 homes and damaged about 20 others in the first ever tornado in Wisconsin's history that touched down in the month of February. The headline is just hilarious. Tornado shelter survives Evansville storm. So I get into the office this morning, and I don't get a lot of voicemails because the phone number we give out is the phone number that'll go for the on-air call-in line. I actually do have a voicemail that you can call up and leave messages. It's kind of hard to find. You've got to call iHeartMedia Milwaukee and sort of ask for me. And I couldn't even give out my personal voicemail if I wanted to. I have no idea what the number is. I should probably memorize that at some point. Do you realize I don't even know my own son's cell phone numbers? I have no idea. And this is a function, of course, of just hitting, son cell phone instead of actually having to dial up the number. But it's just interesting how times have changed. Do you realize I still remember my friends' phone numbers from when I was 9 years old? You remember from when they were 5? Yeah, because you dialed it so many times, it just gets imprinted in your brain. No, we're not going to be giving out your friends' phone numbers over the air, Dave. I bet some of my friends' parents still live in the houses they grew up in. In fact, one of the phone numbers that I still remember, the mom, the father unfortunately passed away some years ago. Mom still lives in the same house. I'll bet you she's got that same phone number. I'll bet you she still has the landline. So I come into the office this morning and I get the following voicemail from Bob, loyal listener down in Kenosha. And I normally don't share stuff like this, but his question was so good and I didn't have a real good answer for him. I want to share this with tens of thousands of people.
I know you've got a lot on your plate, and I know you probably don't have time to get into this, but I'm wondering if there is a website or a resource that I can go to for conservative candidates in my area for the February 20th election. Just wondered if there was any resource that I could go to help me sort through the different candidates I would appreciate, even if you said something on the air, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dan. Really enjoy your show. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Bob. I do appreciate the kind words. Do you know what my answer would be to Bob outside of Waukesha County with its WIS Red initiative? I don't know, Bob. What I would tell you to do would be to go to your Kenosha County. I'm presuming Bob is a conservative. He's a loyal listener of this show. I'm just going to take a wild guess. He wants to know who the conservative candidates are. And there is, in fact, a spring primary. A lot of the local races, village board and school board, they don't have primaries because the way they do it, it'll be there's a list of 8 candidates and you have to pick 4 for 4 seats on the school board. So there's no need for a primary. And the spring primary is going to be not very well attended at all. But Bob is a conscientious dude. So I'm going to say more for the spring election. Folks, I've been harping on this for years and years and years. Normally, I would tell Bob to go to his county Republican Party's website or call someone in the county party and say, hey, can we have a list of party-endorsed candidates or whomever it is that you think we should vote for? I personally get questions like this all the time. Hey, Dan, who should I vote for in the Slinger School Board? I don't know. You know, I can't, as plugged in as I am to local politics, I can't follow all of this stuff. I would tell Bob to go to the Kenosha County GOP's website, but I have no idea if the Kenosha County GOP has a list of endorsed or supported candidates. I have no idea if the Kenosha County GOP does any of this sort of stuff, and I'm only picking on them. And I have no idea if the Kenosha County GOP does this sort of stuff because Bob happens to be from Kenosha. I have been calling on every single party in this state, all 72 county Republican parties. This is your job. Your highest and best function to ensure conservative leadership in your communities is to get to do the vetting. To, as soon as the candidate nomination signatures are due, as soon as the ballots are set, you go out, you send out questionnaires to each of the candidates, you talk to them, as many as you can, and you determine which ones are the most conservative, which ones are the best for your people to vote for. Because the single best thing you can do is to give your voters the knowledge. Look, everybody knows in a Republican, say, gubernatorial primary, because it's someone like me is going to cover this. It's a huge, huge race. In an election between 3 school board members, all 3 are claiming to stand up for education and children. If you can only pick 2, which are the 2 that conservatives need to vote for? This isn't like, oh, Bob should be paying attention. He doesn't have time for that. Nobody does. But this is the sort of thing that parties, that conservative Republican parties should do. Terry Dietrich has done an amazing job with the WIS Red candidate endorsements and putting it all out there. Every other county party should be following suit. It's actually kind of amazing to me that most don't. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. I frequently speak with people who are unhappy with their landscaping and they're unsure how to turn things around. Well, here are 4 tasks that will make a remarkable improvement to dull landscaping. Number 1, thick, lush green grass. We need food and water to be healthy. Our lawn care programs and irrigation systems provide your grass with everything it needs to thrive. Number 2, pruning. Regular, technically correct pruning keeps plants strong and vibrant. Number Number 3, plant bed edging and a fresh layer of bark mulch. There's nothing better than the look of crisp bed edges and fresh mulch. Number 4, landscape lighting. You finally have your landscaping looking its best. A landscape lighting system lets your landscaping come alive after dark. So there you are, 4 landscaping tips that amplify the beauty of your home. Please call Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
If you're someone who's experiencing spine and musculoskeletal pain or shoulder, hip, and knee pain, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Jay Weber here, talking about the doctors and techs that I trust with my shoulder problems. I've had issues for years with micro tears, not enough to warrant surgery, but painful and annoying nonetheless. I discovered that it wasn't a pain that I just had to live with, and Orthopedic Associates doctors gave me options to help the problem and alleviate the pain that I never knew were available. So if you're like me, know that you just don't have to live with it. And you will be impressed with Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin and their staff. I've never waited more than a few minutes after check-in to see the doctor or tech, and I've never felt forgotten in an exam room. Their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality joint care, from simple strains and tears to sports injuries to complex joint replacements. In fact, Orthopedic Associates specializes in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202.
Hey, business owners, it's Joe Breyer with Lake Country Advisors. Are you thinking about selling your business but have questions about the overall value, how to keep things confidential? Who would buy your business? Or maybe you're just curious about the overall process. No need to worry. At Lake Country Advisors, we offer a free exit strategy consultation to answer all your questions about selling your business. We are local, experienced, and trusted. So visit us today at LakeCountryAdvisors.com. That's Lake Country Advisors, changing the way businesses change hands.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Is your heart set on spring remodeling? Then listen to my sweet offer. Hi, this is Terry Lodwick, owner of All American Window and Door. Now is a great time to see all the ways new windows, doors, and siding can romance your home. And you'll enjoy energy savings for years to come. Put a little love in your home with our awesome deals. Stop in. All American Window and Door on Mequon Road in Germantown. 262-255-7170. Estimates are free.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you to the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code CLAY.
Wisconsin, you deserve better. You deserve stress-free quality roofing. Let Klaus Roofing Systems by Buck Buckley, BBB award-winning service, take care of you and your family. For a free roofing consultation, visit KlausRoofingByBuck.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
Sick of all the homeowner headaches? Tired of being a landlord? Did you inherit a property? Go to MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com. We are a local family business, A+ with the BBB. It will make you a fair as-is cash offer within 24 hours. No fees, just cash. MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Overnight ratings for Super Bowl 58 are in, and unsurprisingly, most watched telecast in American history. Not just football, overall. Now, this is likely a function of the fact that there are just way more people today, 123.4 million people. Now, you might have heard me saying last week that the most watched television event in history was what? Nope. Not even close. The moon landing. 150 million people watched the moon landing. Why do you think that doesn't count when it comes to most watched telecast? Nope. Super Bowl's a live event too, Dave. Dave says it was a live event. It wasn't because it aired on multiple networks. Because ABC, CBS, NBC, they were all doing their own broadcasts of the moon landing, which I believe was a Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, something like that, July 20th, 1969. Because you had to combine the three networks, you get 150 million. In terms of the percentage as a population, nothing comes close to the moon landing. However, this was the single biggest telecast, the single biggest single network or family of networks, because people watched it on Paramount Plus. People watched it on, I don't know if the CBS Sports app. Yeah, Nickelodeon had its own Slime Time broadcast, but it was the single biggest telecast. It was the same telecast. It wasn't different networks essentially doing different telecasts. Nielsen also said, the Nielsen ratings company also said a record 202.4 million people watched at least part of the game, a 10% jump over last year. Those 10%, obviously Swifties. I'll be back this afternoon. Talk to you then.